glad you're watching Morning Express. Let's now get into our press review this morning. We begin with the Standard newspaper, where how MPs and senators are planning to humiliate governors is the headline this morning. And today could mark a turning point for devolution as members of both houses meet with the Express mission to clip governors' powers and embarrass the judiciary. That is the lead today, and it is stipulated and very clearly outlined here some of those measures that they plan to take. Number one here is senators to chair county committees on development and governors to sit in as just secretaries. Remember, this was in the news a while back. It was one of those proposals. Discussions went on about it and it was pushed aside, but it is returning to the fore now. Number two, removal by Parliament of the titles HE, that's His Excellency, Your Excellency, for governors, and also stoppage of the use of flags. Remember, that's our question of the day. Do you think they should be stripped of that Your Excellency title? Share with us your views. Continue to tweet at Sophia Wanuna. And number three here, Parliament reduced budget for counties from 33% to 15% of national revenue as stipulated by Constitution. And also this, of course, targeting the judiciary. Parliament to ask President not to approve appointment of 25 new judges on grounds of JSC's quote-unquote irregular vetting. And you can read more about this story by Geoffrey Musuku that begins on the front page and continues on page 2. Of course, some members of CORD are reluctant to back a proposal to slash funding for counties, a stand that may have prompted a compromise strategy to instead channel the additional funds to counties. And of course, that kind of a move does, at the end of the day, hurt the general public. But we'll watch to see what emanates from that meeting today. Also on the front page, TNA on ODM grapple with internal rivalries. President Kenyatta's TNA and former Premier's ODM are battling factional feuds fueled by the rivalry for leadership positions. So today, Raila, who's also the leader of opposition coalition for reforms and democracy, will meet ODM leaders from the 47 counties, summoned to party headquarters to verify the list of more than 2,800 delegates who will vote in elections on Friday and Saturday. That is a story that continues on page 8. And you can read more about those wrangles in ODM and TNA as well. Page 2, the story continues there on the plot to humiliate governors. That thickens. Also on that page, Wambora's fate to be decided on March the 10th. So he continues to hold office up until then, when it will be decided. But also at the same time, Nditi, remember, the Deputy Governor's Council is also saying that she needs to be the one serving as governor, because this promises to play out for quite a long time, may perhaps even get to the Supreme Court. And so through her council, she says that would then create a void in the county. Also, anti-graft unit targets 30 county bosses in probe. We did hear that they were also conducting investigations, and they have confirmed receiving complaints against 30 governors over abuse of office and misuse of public funds. So clearly, one story that we are going to be hearing about for quite some time. Page 3 has that story that broke yesterday in Uganda. Museveni beats about 10 on bill as activists launch anti-gay day in Kenya. And they ask MPs to legislate laws that criminalize the practice and bar guest houses from accommodating gays. So anti-gay activists in Nairobi have launched a day to spread gospel against the practice. The activists led by Maendeleo Wanaume chairman Nderitu Njoka yesterday termed homosexuality a foreign culture and noted that they will use anti-gay day, which they say they will mark every February the 24th to curb the habit that is spreading fast. So President faulted gay activists in Uganda, faulted Museveni, noting he should have engaged them. But remember, Museveni did say he engaged quite a number, even of scholars, both from Uganda and internationally, to help understand this whole gay homosexuality question and how it does happen and how one becomes one. And for him, the reasons around it did not convince against signing that bill into law. Also, schoolgirl rescued from teacher's house is a story you'll find on page 3 of the Standard. this Tuesday. Let's cross to page 4, and tamper-proof number plates to be introduced. So those number plates on our roads, on cars, will be changing. Each will bear owner's name. I think that's cool. Registration number and Kenyan flag, says Kamau. Then again, when you're driving around, everybody will know that's Maureen on the road. Motorists will soon have new number plates with special security features. That's what the engineer Michael Kamau, Transport Cabinet Secretary, said. He said that the new number plates would bear the name of the owner, registration number of the vehicle, the Kenyan flag as well, and they will be reflected on the car engine front and rear, and a third one will be placed on the windscreen. There's a beautiful picture here of Lupita, and she wins another U.S. Film Award, still on that page. So the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, that's NAACP, awards were announced at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium in California, USA, and the girl continues to shine around the world. Page 6, 3-judge bench to hear case seeking nullification of repressive media laws. Yes, media houses have contended that 2 laws enacted last year curtail fundamental rights and freedoms, and details of that story here. The 3-judge bench, as you see on your screen there, will have Lady Justice Mumbi Goge, Justice Isaac Lenaula, and Weldon Courier. Page 8, ODM officials to screen delegates list is a story here. KCSE results to be released Tuesday next week, so that's a big day to watch for the candidates. And rift in President's party over officials widens. That, remember, is a discussion we'll be having in the next hour of the show. We'll be talking to the Secretary General, TNA, Onyango Laws. The standoff on whether President Uhuru Kenyatta's TNA party should hold elections to pick new national office bearers continued, with the 2 opposing groups maintaining their hardline positions. And you can read more about that story that has also seen allegations of misappropriation of funds come up as well. And the Hague trials are continuing, and on page 9, Bensouda wants Ruto to attend cases. So the prosecutor seeks consent to appeal the decision that allowed Ruto to skip court sessions. So Bensouda has sought to challenge that permission granted to the deputy president. She filed the application before Trial Chamber 5A, seeking permission to appeal the decision of the same court pronounced on January the 15th. So if granted, she will file the appeal at the appeals chamber. And Bensouda and her fight continues there on that page. Read more. Let's go to the back page. Fever Pitch, all your sports news are covered here for you. Kenya to host CHAN in 2018. Country will use more than 500 million shillings for successful championship. Also in the Fever Pitch today, Gor Mahia and Sony Sugar set the pace as KPL gains speed. It's on page 43. And Olympiacos seek to end losing habit against Man United as Zenit hosts Dortmund on page 42. All inside Fever Pitch in the Standard today. And it is Tuesday, so focus is on business news. There's a business beat pull out and mystery of the sugar billionaires. Find out more about these mysterious people. So COMESA safeguards have allowed well-connected individuals to reap mega profits as millers and farmers wallow in losses. It's a feature, a special report that's covered for you, page 8 and 9. And also inside, there's an analysis by You Mobile. The question posed here, intrigues in sale of the 3rd largest mobile operator. Page 3, economic forecast, cloudy with chance of sunny data. Also read about how to make money from selling flies. Okay. And privacy concerns in Facebook WhatsApp deal, page 13, also has that. I'm actually curious to find out what that is. Selling flies? Like, really? Let's look at that. Page 10. How to make money from selling flies. So, there's a growing market for artificial artistic creations that hide hooks and fool fish to think they are seeking the insects they feed on. Please buy a copy of the Standard and read more about the flies which are gonna give me the giggles, and I may be unable to continue. The beat also, the extra pullout as well is inside alongside the business beat today. And feeding the malnourished, that's the headline in the extra. So cheaper staple foods to be artificially enriched with nutrients. Page 6 talks about spreading gospel through music. And youths in drive to restore forest. We saw that Embobut story and the government's efforts to rehabilitate the same. And of course, around the country, very many forests need rehabilitation. And on anti-graft protest, that's on the Twitter feed, that's on page 12, all in the extra. And of course, so much more, as well as a pictorial that tells you a story. Let's move to the Daily Nation. The lead as well is the same as we saw in the Standard today, all about those supremacy battles and how we are seeing members of parliament plotting to strip governors of powers. So the county bosses might lose titles, the Your Excellency that is now used, and to fly also, the right also to fly the flag and be put lower in pecking order in the proposed law. So powers to plan the development of each devolved unit might end up with the senator, and details of that are on page 4 and 5. We have here 10 a.m. is the time today when National Assembly members and senators will meet under the chairmanship of Justin Muturi in what is called the Speaker's Kamkunju to discuss their onslaught on governors and the judiciary. And of course, outlined here, how Parliament will tame rivals is what we saw earlier. 4 different approaches they're planning to enlist to see that happens. The front page picture is the 1 million number plate, 1 million shillings. So Ministry unveils plan to curb vehicle thefts. It will be difficult for somebody to just interchange the number plates because police officers will be able to detect it, and production of the new plates is expected to begin immediately. The equipment for manufacturing them arrives from Germany by mid next month. These are the words of Transport Secretary Michael Kamau. Also on the front page of the Daily Nation today, Equity Bank eyes mobile phone license in growth plan. Equity Bank has applied for a license to operate a mobile telephone business in a move that is bound to change the face of telecommunications in Kenya. So Mr. Francis Wangusi, the Director General of the Communications Commission of Kenya, told the nation that he had received an application from Equity Bank, which he has forwarded to the National Intelligence Service for a security review. Page 2 in the Daily Nation, new rules to guide lawyers on adverts. So television declared no-go zone for advocates in pitching for their services. You remember, you've never seen one of those in Kenyan televisions. They're not allowed to do that. And now there are rules that will be able to guide how that works. So LSK Secretary Apollo Mboya here saying the comments by members have been taken into account and rules will be published in as far as that is concerned, and how they get to put out to the public what it is they do. KCSE results, as we said, Tuesday is the D-Day. 450,000 number of candidates who sat for the KCP and KCSE exams last year will be expecting their results next week. And Equity, of course, that's seeking a license for mobile business as well, a story that continues on that page. On the third page in the Daily Nation, ODM factions vowed to oppose 9 new posts. So there has been talk of that expanding the slots, the leadership slots, 9 extra. That, of course, has been said is to mitigate the fallout for the losers in the ODM elections. So 2,800 delegates to vote this week. That is what we'll be seeing. The venue will be, of course, Kasarani. Friday and Saturday, the balloting, the election shall be through secret ballot, and the delegates are to sit and vote as per county. And you can read more there. TNA set to hold grassroots elections. TNA is planning to start its recruitment drive from next month to be followed by grassroots elections. This follows pressure from a group led by Kajiado North Member of Parliament Moses Sokuda for establishment of party structures from the grassroots to national level to ensure the party does not become moribund. Devolution wars is what the Daily Nation is focusing on page 4 and 5. So MPs, senators hatch plot to tame judges and governors in battle for supremacy. Read more there. And there is that tragic story that we saw earlier in our bulletin on page 6 about the 8 who were killed in a Matatu crash, all from one family. Also there, as well as Bensouda's story, where she's seeking to have the deputy president present in court and seeking an appeal on the earlier decision. IBC, quote-unquote, ignored Paul Keats' warning is a story on page 8. So Electoral Agency's ICT boss tells court advice on electronic devices was not taken seriously. So this is just a reminder of the significant failure that was witnessed on election day in as far as the work of the electronic kits is concerned, and now the ICT weighing in and saying that they had in fact advised against, or rather on potential failure. Back page, Daily Nation, rival unions fight over membership. So this is Twoli denies leading briefcase unions and blames Sossion, who's the Secretary General NAT, for dispute. So KOTU has been told to declare its exact membership as the third episode of the tug of war with rival Pusetu played out yesterday. And there's also a woman there who's denying a fraud charge, Susan Namalendo, a Ugandan, when she appeared before Mombasa court yesterday. She denied fraudulently obtaining 3.9 million shillings from Miss Ruth Florence between January the 10th and February 16th in Kisauni. She was released on a 1 million shillings bond with 1 Kenyan surety. Page, the Star today, the front page, the lead is EACC probes 2 ministers over graft, and Cabinet Secretary received cash in Dubai. Is a report. We look at the more details on page 6 where the full report is. But also, as you see there, the front page picture, Binyavanga blasts Museveni M7 over anti-gay law, and that is as he puts pen to paper yesterday, signing that into law officially in Entebbe yesterday. Also on the front page of the Star, Kenya to host 2018 African Nations Cup. Kenya will for the first time host the that particular tournament in 2018. So the announcement was made by the Confederation of African Football following an executive council meeting in Cairo last Friday. Protect Migingo, that's what Parliament is being told on page 2 in the Star. It has been petitioned to immediately approve the establishment of a permanent naval base, and this is to happen and to be stationed at Lake Victoria to protect Kenyans in the island of Migingo as well as the island of Ugingo from external aggression. Page 4 in the Star today, Maina Njenga robbery ruling for March 18th is a story here, as well as March 4th poll device untested. That is what a witness said, that those poll devices were not tested, at least to approve that they could be used in the general election, which was called for the biggest election that Kenya has ever had. On page 6, that story on Corruption Commission probes 2 ministers. We have EACC is investigating 2 ministers over various offences, including bribe taking, influencing tenders, irregular tender awards, and abuse of office. One cabinet secretary allegedly received huge sums of cash from an unidentified foreign investor to facilitate a tender in his ministry. And also read about what Binyavanga is saying. He denounces Museveni over anti-gay law. Kenya to host 2018, details as well there of the Africa Nations Cup. And that story, the tragic one, 8 burnt to death in Vihiga road crash as well in the Star this Tuesday. Finally, the people, MPs to governors, obey us or lose seats. So that is the ultimatum being given there. And under siege, the odds are stacked against county chiefs with senators, MPs, and executive teaming up in the onslaught against them. The People front page picture is the new generation digital number plates, vehicle registration to feature microchip as well. And Namwamba threatens walkout over voting system. So controversy continued to stalk the Friday ODM party elections with a walkout threat by one camp if vote by secret ballot is replaced by acclamation method. And inside the People today, you will read about nuclear power to be rolled out in 2022 and plants to be constructed either in Kisumu or in Mombasa. Details of that are on page 46 inside the business news pages. And Continental Soccer comes to town. Kenya wins rights to host 2018 tournament. So, as of 6:58 a.m., that is a look at how your papers are looking this morning. Do grab yourself a copy of the Standard newspaper, extra pull-out, the business beat, and all your sports news as well, all inside there covered for you. Let's have a look at how your roads are looking this morning. My 3 routes on Twitter having several updates. There is a lorry heading to industrial area that is being robbed of petrol, is being gotten off from it. Somebody says Mombasa Road at Cabanas was clear. Outbound as at 6:45. Inbound still GM. Traffic cops around though, helping with the situation. Had a smooth ride this morning on Thika Road to town. Minimal traffic at Roster, Survey and Mudaiga. Somebody says there. Ngong Road as well, flowing smooth. Cops manning this road, and big ups to them. We have a Pave Sige saying that. So pretty much not too bad. There's jam on Safari Park Hotel just outside. The bumps need to be done away with. Somebody says they're causing a crisis there. Safari Park again, traffic there, Thika Road menace. And no other big thing to be reported about. The train will always be the best option. Somebody says, I enjoy my morning rides to town. And of course, that always makes life easier in terms of staying away from getting caught up in traffic. As we go to our short break, remember in our question of the day, we're asking you about the proposal to do away with the Your Excellency title for the governors. And do you support that proposal? Members of Parliament, senators are meeting, and that is one of those proposals that have been put out. And it's all about proving who's boss, clipping their powers as well. Do you think governors should be stripped of the Your Excellency HE title? 22155 is our SMS number. You can tweet me as well at Sophia Wanuna. The Secretary General at CNA, Onyango Law, is with us in studio in the next hour, and we'll be talking about those wrangles in the National Alliance, the President's Party. A lot has been said about that, and that conversation will be coming up. We'll be opening, hopefully, our phone lines for you, but you can also tweet us your questions or concerns or comments at Sophia Wanuna. Stay with us right here on KTN.